What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Kuempel with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. I'm super excited to introduce this next guest. She is the world-leading subject matter expert of the classic Coming to America, which we all know and love very much. She is a public speaker coach and the co-founder of SpeakEasy. And she's also in Houston, which I love Houston. It's much warmer than here in Chicago right now. Please welcome Sherhara Downing to the show. Sherhara, thank you for joining us. Can you please introduce yourself and tell the audience a little bit about your background?
Yes, well, Deanna, thank you so much for having me. And when you asked how to introduce me, I don't know why I feel like that's the first thing I want people to know, that I love the movie Coming to America. There is an entire community out there, so I'm grateful to be a part of it. But thank you for having me. My name is Sherhara, and I am the co-founder of SpeakHaus, where we make Speak Easy. And so we work with business and thought leaders so that you can speak in a way that matches your great experience and expertise. I always say my motto is to make human interaction and connection effortless. We're here in this world together. And the one thing that should not get in the way of us coming together is our inability to connect and communicate ourselves. So, I'm really excited about the work that I do. Based here in Houston, Texas, I always say the land of Beyonce. So I try to do as much as I can do that Beyonce can do in a day.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Well, Coming to America was one of my personal favorites, and I did watch the second one with my fiance, and that was awesome. There were so many people. Like, I was like, at the end, I was like,
Yeah.
Like, there's so many. I was like, holy crap. I felt like I was transported back to high school. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, he brought all of the favorites from the previous,
Yes.
introduced some new ones. I really did love it, and I know that sometimes a sequel isn't always as good as the first one. But my friend told me when I shared some of my fear of what it was going to be like, he said, "In Eddie, we trust."
Yeah.
And after that, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take whatever Eddie got. And I thought he did a great job.
Yeah, I think so too. It was a good one. I watched it a couple of times actually because I liked it so much. So I love that. So public speaking. So you have always been on your own, right? You haven't come from the corporate world. You've kind of done your own thing. And public speaking, I never realized how much of an important skill that was. And now at this point in my life, I realize that it's just you really know, as a leader or as someone that's trying to make an impact, you have to have a certain skill and to talk to people that they can connect with you. So can you tell me why it is important to you to coach people in that category, I guess?
Well, one, I always say, and I haven't quite figured out the best way to say it, but speaking, using our voice, talking is one of the most ancient tools. Like, it's evolved, language has evolved, languages have sprouted out, new vocabulary words are added to our lexicon daily.
Yeah.
But it's one of the things that we have that keeps us all connected.
Yeah.
Whether you were on Earth 3,000 years ago, we all were using this mouthpiece of ours. And it's an essential tool for how we operate in this world, how we connect, how we love, how we find fulfillment. And so for me to have been, one, gifted, but then also my family and my community cultivated the confidence that I have in being able to speak and talk. I definitely feel like, oh man, I personally understand and feel the benefits of being able to connect with people through this tool, this mouthpiece that's sitting right underneath our nose, literally. So for me, it's always been my way of being able to differentiate myself. It's always been my way of getting myself out of things that I shouldn't be in. It's always been my way of getting things maybe that I desire. So as I started to see the power of it, I leaned into it, and that's what kind of really got me in it.
Yeah, I love that. We'll get into the coaching aspect, but what are some common mistakes that people do when they are getting into public speaking?
Yeah, so I always say public speaking is anytime that you open up your mouth and words fall out and somebody else is listening, you know, like
So be
you
careful.
public speaking now, words fall out. I don't know, Deanna, if you're one of these people where you talk to yourself, okay.
Sometimes, yeah.
I sometimes will just talk out loud. That's
Yeah.
not quite public speaking, but and so for me, the approach that I take is it's not just these formal, conference keynotes that it's public speaking. It's public speaking when you're working with your coworkers. It's public speaking when you're negotiating with your in-laws.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the big one, right? You're public speaking when you're trying to get your kids to act right. You're public speaking when you're trying to convince your fiance why we need to go on this trip, or why I need to go shower, or why I need to go get my nails done every month.
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
if that's at the core, if you know that you have to wake up in a day and you have to use your language and you have to use your communication skills in order to get things accomplished, you are a public speaker. I'm not necessarily the person that's going to coach you on how to be a paid motivational speaker. I'm
Right.
not necessarily the person that's going to, coach you on strategies and techniques on getting on stages and do a TED talk.
Yeah.
I am definitely in the space of what I call connection sourced public speaking, where you're communicating and you're speaking to people around you to foster connection. Whether you're connecting a product to your consumer or you're connecting yourself to your future husband. So in that space, it's really just about, you are a public speaker. And I think the one thing that people don't get right is trusting ourselves.
Yeah.
Just trusting that what you have to say matters, trusting that you can put together the words and share it in the best way that you know how.
Yeah.
Trusting that even if you don't feel like you did it the best, you're still okay. You're not less than. And trusting that even if you are challenged in expressing yourself, even if it is difficult, even if you do have a little bit of anxiety or even a lot of bit of anxiety when it comes to speaking in front of people, you still are worthy
Yeah.
for your voice to be heard.
Yeah.
And we don't trust that enough. We don't believe in ourselves. We don't believe that what we have to say should be heard.
Yeah.
And so I would say, if you're in those spaces and you're challenged in the way that you connect and communicate with people around you, just sit back and just trust yourself. And if you have thoughts, feelings, sentiments to be expressed, express them, because they quite possibly could be, a healing component for people listening, or, insights or information, or maybe even helping other people better understand themselves.
Yeah. I love that. That was beautiful. Very beautiful. So I feel that, so I was very shy as a little girl. All right. And so to get out of my shyness, I forced myself to go take speech class, and that was the first step for me to stepping outside of my comfort zone and dealing with that fear, because that's a fear, right? Being in front of people and telling your doing this big speech. And as I've gotten older, I've gotten better. Obviously we get a little bit more, for me at least. I don't know about other people. For me, I'm just I don't give an F anymore. I'm just this is me. This is who I am. Take it or leave it. I'm always going to try to conduct myself in a professional, good way to compliment myself. But, and I'm not going to live in fear anymore. I guess that was my point. I'm not going to live in fear anymore. And I think that when people, maybe some leaders or individuals or whomever, maybe when they're up, they live in this fear bubble where they're not able to express themselves properly. And I think that's probably where someone like you would come in, where they can help them overcome that fear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, you said it right. It is about overcoming a fear, right? And it's
Yeah.
not just, in my opinion, you're not just overcoming a fear of speaking. Really, the fear is of being seen.
Ooh,
And
ooh.
like, you don't want to get out in front of these people and look dumb, look stupid, not look smart. You're worried about your love handles, or whether or not your hair is looking good or not. You're worried about the outfit, so you don't want to be seen. Middle school was the worst, and I think every
Yeah.
every adult is probably traumatized by dealing with the insecurities of those awkward ages where everybody's picking on you, everybody's, like dissecting you. Like, I think we're still trying to feel okay with being seen and not being talked about, not being laughed at, not being, shunned, not being excluded,
Yeah.
And so the fear isn't always with just public speaking. The fear is being seen. The fear is that if they see me, they're gonna see me in a bad way, and I don't want to be seen in a bad way. I want to be seen, I want to be cool, I want to be likable, I want to be loved, I want to be attractive, I want to be, like, we want to be included.
Yeah.
We want to be liked and we want to be loved by people. So, public speaking means that you're going to get in front of other people and they're going to be looking at you and they're going to be talking. Your fear isn't about necessarily what you're saying. Your fear is really about, how am I going to be perceived? And are they going to really like me?
And that's an insecurity, though. That's not necessarily, that's not a fact. Because
Yeah.
you don't, at the end of the day, I mean, 9 times out of 10, when you stand up or when you're talking to people publicly, you're making an impact in a positive way, and they're not seeing those flaws that you are hearing in your head. That's
Yeah.
something that I've learned. Like, so starting this podcast was very totally stepping outside of my comfort zone. The day that I did my intro, I drank probably a bottle of wine. It took me like 10 takes to do the introduction. And I was like, I don't know who the F I think I am, but I'm just going to do this. And it's been a beautiful journey, and it's allowed me to grow internally, but it's also allowed me to touch many people's lives by having people, incredible people like you on the show. And I don't regret it. And I'm glad that I faced that fear. And I've just gotten better and better. I'm sure there's places where I can improve. Don't get me wrong. I probably could use your services 100%. But you know what I mean? Like, when you face that fear day in and day out, like, there are some days I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this, because
Right.
I'm feeling insecure. I'm feeling low. Like, I'm having a bad day. But if I show up for myself anyways, and I face that feeling, it just makes me stronger and more capable moving forward.
hmm And the thing that we always have to try to remind ourselves, and I think this is why, this podcast that you put out here, and having people share their perspectives, right? You talk about label free, and it's important that we start to see the labels that we put on ourselves that limit ourselves.
Yeah.
And we have to, and I think that this is a beautiful forum so that people can start to talk about what we had to release
Yeah.
and what we had to do. Like you said, when you first did your intro, you had a whole bottle of wine. Was it red wine?
Yes, it was.
Pinot Noir.
Yeah. Yes, it was, girl. You know it. I love my Pinot, girl.
Okay, from Oregon. Have you tapped into the Pinot Noirs from Oregon, Willamette
No.
Valley?
No.
Okay, Deanna. Wait, look, when I make it back to Chicago,
Okay.
we are going to sit down summertime
Yeah.
on the river, okay, and we're gonna have Pinot Noir.
Hey guys, this is Deanna with Label Free Podcast. I've got something special for you. Roses are red, violets are blue. We love shaved balls. How about you? Here is my gift to you. Valentine's Day is coming, and we know just the gift to give to that special someone for any and all special occasions. This Valentine's Day, it's time to give a gift that 4 million men worldwide trust from Manscaped. Use my exclusive discount and code LabelFree20 for 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. And let me just tell you, I love their new cologne. It is so sexy. When my man wears it, I am just floored. So this Valentine's Day, he's going to be wearing this, and I'm going to be all over him. So I highly recommend use my code LabelFree20 for 20% off and free shipping. Happy Valentine's Day.
And I think that sometimes, and I use myself as an example, right? People may look at me and say, oh, well, you've probably always been like this. And I always say this, I'm better today than I was 10 years ago. I'm better today than when I was 9. I'm better today than a year ago.
Yeah.
Because of the experiences that I've had, because of the practice that I've had. You said stepping outside of your comfort zone. We don't take enough risk as humans, right? Like, Deanna, what you're doing is risky all the time because you're meeting, you and I, complete strangers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But yet you open yourself to me and I open myself to you. That's a risk.
Yeah.
but you grow from that. So now,
You're making me cry. Oh my God.
girl, I mean,
It's so good.
you're doing this, y'all. I'm gonna tell you right now, and Deanna, don't get mad at me if I say this, but I am her last podcast guest tonight, and she had many others before me,
Mhm.
and you're extending yourself,
Yes.
and that's not easy.
Yeah.
But when you extend yourself, you expand, you grow, and what felt difficult in that expansion eventually becomes easier.
Mhm.
So when you're thinking about overcoming the fear of public speaking, you have to extend yourself. You have to take a risk. You gotta get uncomfortable. You have to learn how to get comfortable with the uncomfortable
Yes.
if you want to grow.
I love that. As you make me tear up over here. Oh my goodness.
And she got episodes on episodes on episodes, so she's, as they say, Deanna, you're not new to this, you true to this.
Yes, that's for sure. I absolutely love it. I love meeting people like you and talking to people like you. There are so many incredible people in this world that, I mean, it's just amazing. And we are all connected, like you said, like we are all connected one way or the other. And, that's why you have to be good to everyone you meet. And I think that in the last couple of years, people are forgetting that. We're not going to go there, but it's just like, where's the grace and where's the compassion and where is our, just like being one again. We are the world. We
We
are
are
the
the
children.
future.
You know what I mean? Like, oh boy. All right. Anyways, I got off track. So you are also the co-founder of SpeakHaus. Talk to us about that.
Yes. Okay. So here's the thing that I also say about public speaking, right? We have our own labels that we put
Yeah.
on ourselves. We
Yeah.
have our own insecurities. We have our own negative self-talk, right? And with that, though, that's something that we can control. That's something that we can work on.
Oh, yeah.
But there's all these other things that come at us in the world that we can't control, right? That limit us or challenge us or make it difficult for us to achieve our goals, for us to kind of like live out our highest potential. Living up to our full potential, I know, is a big thing for people. And so SpeakHaus, we believe that no one should feel limited or feel like they are stunted in their ability to achieve because of their inability to speak and communicate.
Yeah.
Of all the things that we got that can make life difficult for achieving your dreams, your mouthpiece and the way that you speak and the way that you communicate should not be the thing that gets in your way.
Yeah.
So SpeakHaus, we believe in trying to remove that, because public speaking is hard, and we're not going to say that it's not, but public speaking is hard. But we're creating a community, and we're creating programming and toolkits and trainings that help make public speaking easier. And just starting with that. And so my business bestie, Krista, and I were like I said, we were totally business besties. I met her sister, like totally different occasion. I moved back home here to Houston. She's like, you got to meet my sister. And I was like, okay. And we ran into each other at an event. And then ever since then, she's been pouring into me. I've been pouring into her. And then we were sitting here in my living room, and something just said, she asked me about a service offering. So one of our main service offerings is called The Social. And it's basically a mobile public speaking group coaching program that goes directly to the homes of our aspiring and leading entrepreneurs. So Deanna, if you had like 7 to 10 of what we call your partners in success, these are the people that you set and accomplish goals with. Who's your community? Bring your community to your house. We prep you. Then you get up and you speak. We provide you on the spot coaching and feedback. And then you all can learn from one another.
I love it.
So, and then we bring champagne, because
even better. Yes.
everything's better with champagne.
So yeah.
I launched that on my own back in 2019, was ready to go. And then the pandemic hit and people weren't gathering anymore.
Yeah.
But she came to me just in September and said, hey, what are you doing with The Social? Like, are you going to relaunch it? You're going to get it back going? I'm like, girl, I do not have the capacity. And she said very plainly, well, when you're ready for a COO, you let me know. And then I said, I'm ready now. And so we hit the ground running, and it has just been an absolute joy to partner with someone, to be like we're doing this together.
Yeah.
And I've just been transformed by being able to learn more about how we can expand and how we can continue to serve people. So that's what SpeakHaus is about. We do virtual, of course, still, but we're excited to get back in person. We're excited to commune and with our communities in person. We're excited to empower individuals to ignite their communities,
I love
the
it.
people around them.
Yeah.
So the social builds the leadership skills, establishes you as an authority, but then at the same time, you practice your public speaking skills, and we all have something to learn from each other. So,
And you have some fun while doing it.
and
So
we have
let me know when you want to expand in the Chicagoland area, and let me be a part of that. I'd love to help. Get people
yes, I would
together.
love that. We actually have a coach in Chicago,
Okay.
and it comes from my network. Because as I told you, Deanna, I lived in Chicago for quite some time, and so Chicago definitely is going to be our first market that we're going to launch some socials in. So we'll have to talk about that.
Very cool. Yes, we'll talk offline. So before we start saying goodbye, Sherhara, where can people find you, connect with you, follow you, all that good stuff?
Yes, and I say this about my name, Sherhara. It sounds like a small country somewhere in the world that we've never heard of.
It's
But
beautiful.
my parents were ambitious, okay, and it was the 80s.
You're awesome. I love it.
And I know my parents will not be mad at me because they are crazy. They know. Anyways, I say
They
my
were
name
having some fun back then, huh?
They were having some fun. Okay.
All right.
This is a product of fun.
Don't hate.
So I say that just because I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter. Those are the two places that I kind of show up on a daily basis. That's where I am most organically, and so I would say follow me there. But now that SpeakHaus is an entity, a lot of our content is now going to be transferred there. So if you want to be a part of what I call the SpeakHaus hood, and you want to stay in tune, you want to know what's good in the SpeakHaus hood, I say follow us on Instagram at SpeakHaus. That's HAUS. And then also you can visit us at speakhaus.com and become a part of our community. Share with us your info. We have got, we're communicators both in the verbal, but also in the written. There's so much value that we intend to deliver through our email community, for our online community. So make sure you hit us there, submit, share your info. When you get an email from us, respond, okay? Like give us a reply, because we reply back.
Okay.
And those are the main ways that you can get in contact.
Excellent. Well, and you guys, I will put all those links in the show notes, so don't hesitate to reach out, follow, sign up, be a part of her community. If you're someone that's interested in public speaking or are in public speaking and need some help, definitely give her a shout out or reach out, all that good stuff. So before we say goodbye, I always like to ask for any last words of wisdom or advice. So what would you like to leave with the audience tonight?
Ooh. The first thing that came to my mind is just live label free. And you're listening to the podcast, you're listening to people, talk about what it means to live label free. And I mean, this doesn't have it has much to do with my brand and public speaking as it does to, be the foundation of your brand, Deanna. But, when you let go of these labels, when you let go of these expectations that you believe are put on you, when you stop surrendering to the labels that are put on you, and you allow yourself to create your own labels if you want, but don't do that. Just do it. Live label free.
Yeah.
If you are in the process of removing the labels that confine you, when you decide to speak, when you decide to show up, people will see you. And then you'll be okay with being seen. And then that's when you'll find yourself to be like a great speaker. That's when you won't have the anxiety, and it'll be with ease. So putting it together, live label free, be a great speaker.
Oh, you're gonna make me cry again. That was good.
I get goosebumps, and you know, like and you know, I like connection, you know,
Yeah.
and so I've done podcasts where people are pleasant and nice and great, but Deanna, you definitely you are very dedicated to it, and I just want to say thank you for having me, and I want to say thank you for all of the messages that you've dispersed, and you continue to do it because it is seen. You are seen.
Thank you. Wow, you're awesome. Thank you so much. 3 times almost. Okay. And,
It's the
and
end of
now,
the day.
and now let's call it a night. Okay. You're amazing. I can't wait to connect with you in person and have that bottle of wine. It might be a couple bottles though. I'm not gonna lie. But you're an awesome guest. Thank you for sharing your story, sharing what you do, and keep touching lives because that is what we need in this world. And we need to empower people to be as effective and in their own power as they possibly can be. So thank you very much. You guys, this is your host, Deanna Kuempel with Label Free Podcast. Live your best life. You must live label free. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, follow, all those good things. And I'll be back soon with more dynamic guests.